Hey folks, Mr. Dell here. We are looking at finding cube roots. We can talk about estimating as well as using our calculator. I'm going to show you both. This is coming from CPM's course 3, section 10.1.1, specifically number 10-12. So it says find the cube root of the following numbers. Use your calculator as needed and round any decimal answers to the nearest 100th. Identify each answer as rational or irrational. So 1,728. And I want the cube root. So how we write that is the little 3, like a square root symbol, a root symbol, but with the cube. So you put a little 3 there, and it's 1,728. So it's the cube root of that. What does that mean? I'm looking for a number, right? I want a number where I take that number and I multiply it 3 times and it equals 1,728, right? So I could sit here with my calculator and just keep guessing numbers, 24 times 24 times 24, and just see, oh no, way too big, or 14 times 14 times 14, and nope, still too big, right? So there's looking for a set of numbers, 3 numbers of the identical number that multiply. So that's a cube, right? It's the opposite of cube root. This is 14 cubed. So there's another way of doing it. So that would be taking in your calculator and using the cube root function. So let me show you that. It's every calculator is going to be a little different, but here I'm using the Texas Instrument 30X. And so if you look at the key, so this little caret, this hat key is how you do a root, right? If I wanted to do and check, say I was going to check 12, so 12 to the third power would be look like this, right? So 12 to the third power, hit enter, that's my answer, right? 12 to the third power is 1,728, which, look at that. In fact, I just found it. It's 12 times 12 times 12. So that's how you could do it, is using your exponent up to the third power to determine, and playing the guessing game, which we ended up just guessing it right, or the cube root function is above that, and it looks like this. So it looks like, I'll just show you, it looks like a root, the root symbol, right? Like the square root symbol, but it's got a little x right there. So what that means is I can take any root. Sometimes you want to do a fourth root, a fifth root, and you're trying to find a number that multiplies 4 times, but in this case it's a third root. So what we do is we type in 3, because that's what we're going to do, is a cube root, and then I hit second, and then I hit that x root key. So this is basically saying, oh, that 3 is the x. So that's the cube root, of 1,728. Now hit enter. Sure enough, once again, there it is. Confirmation. My answer is 12. So the cube root is equal to 12. Okay. So that's using a calculator and or guess and check, trying to figure that out. So 54. The cube root of 54 now. So once again, I'm going to write it out. The cube root of 54. So is there a number that multiplies by itself 3 times to be 54? And there's not. This is what we would call an oh, by the way, this is rational because there's an exact answer. This is irrational because there's not an exact answer. One of the things that I have my students do is being able to estimate as well. So this is the squiggly line. We're going to approximate it. What I do know is I'm gonna put some little notes up here. I know this. I know that the cube root of 27, it's a perfect square, perfect cube, is 3. And I know the cube root of 64 is 4. So I memorized a couple of my cube roots, especially the ones below 100. So that being said, I know 54 then. The cube root of 54 has to be between 3 and 4. And it's closer to, the 54 is closer to 64 than it is to 57. So I know it's going to be greater than 3.5. So I might estimate it as well, and I have to have that skill, and I could say maybe it's 3.6 approximately. But then they want you on this problem to use the calculator to figure it out. But if I was doing this without a calculator, I'd probably estimate about 3.6. But let's see or 3.7 maybe is what I would do. So let's see what it is. So again, cube root. So you hit a 3 and then the x root. So second, get that x root up there. And we're doing 54. Hit enter. And there it is, 3.779. So it wants us to round to the nearest hundredth. So that 7 is the hundredth. So I look at the next number and I need to notice it's greater than 5. So that rounds up. So we would say it's approximately 3.78. And it is irrational, right? Because irrational, there's not an exact answer. This decimal is non-repeating, non-terminating. If I had more space on my calculator, it would just keep on going and going. Okay. Last one here, 0.125. So that, I'm going to just figure that out on the calculator. So we're going to do, again, cube root of 0.125, enter. Oh, I did too many zeros. Let me try that again. Cube root of 0.125, that's what I meant, is equal to 0.5, 5/10. So that's an exact answer. So the cube root, I'm going to write it out, of 0.125 is exactly 5/10. And so therefore, since it's exact, this is rational. Okay, there we go.